الله رحيم الله مالك الله قدوس الله.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I got a question pertaining to Allah's attributes.
Oh, God. Yeah, what's the question?
So my question was gonna be, so my first question is Allah identical? Well, is Allah his essence?
What does that mean?
That's my first question.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
What does that
Is
mean?
Allah his essence?
What's the essence mean? What do you mean by essence?
So essence is basically characteristics that are necessary for a being to be considered what they are.
So is Allah what he says he is?
No, that's not my question. My question is, so this is like Tawhid. Are you aware of like the study of Tawhid, like in a philosophical sense?
No, I'm not.
Are you aware of the attributes? Are they subsisting within the essence yet distinct?
The 99 attributes of Allah, yes. Go on.
So, again, I won't ask that question. Do you affirm that Allah is his attributes, his 99 attributes?
He is his attributes. What does that even mean?
He is his attributes?
No, is that the question you're asking me?
Yeah, that's the question I'm asking you.
So, is Allah the creator?
What?
Is that what you're asking me?
I mean, he has 99 attributes. What I'm asking...
No, so one of his attributes is creator. Oh, as he's powerful. Is Allah powerful?
Yeah, there's also, omnipotence, omnibenevolence. And
no, let's deal with one at a time. So is he powerful? Yes.
Is he all powerful?
Is he all powerful? Yes.
Yes, but is that all powerfulness, that attribute, is that identical to Allah in every single way?
What does
or similar in every single way?
What does that even mean?
So it's the entailness, right? Let's just say he were to be identical to every single 99 of his attributes, or every single one of his attributes. That means that Allah would be 99 gods. You guys obviously don't affirm this, right?
No, we don't.
Yes. So you would affirm that these attributes are distinct yet inseparable from Allah. Can these attributes exist without Allah's existence?
I heard this the other day. So they're distinct from each other, but not from Allah. I think that's how.
Yeah, distinct yet inseparable, because they're inseparable.
Distinct from each other, but yeah. I don't understand the question you're asking me.
What's the point?
Let me make it easy. What's the point you're making?
Yeah, I'm gonna make my point. So, can Allah's attributes exist without Allah?
No.
Can Allah exist without his attributes?
Is it necessary for Allah to be just, for example?
That's not analogous to my question. My question was, can Allah
I don't know. I'll say
I
don't know. I don't understand your question, mate. So I'm not going to go definitive.
I mean, I can answer it for you.
What's the point you're trying to make?
So this is a counterfactual dependency. So the attributes are distinct from Allah in existence, yet they're dependent on each other in order to exist. Meaning his essence would have a counterfactual dependency within it, which means your God is contingent on the second definition.
Oh, I can't be bothered with this. Sorry, mate.
Is contingent.
Whatever you want to say, but I think you're incorrect. But
I mean, we can debate.
I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, of course. Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why am I running?
Yeah.
Because I can. I can't be bothered with these questions. It's the man. Yes, Yemeni, go on. How would you respond to that nonsense?
Hello, Assalamu
alaikum.
Yeah, what do you call it? It was just ridiculous. These people always come on trying to use different language than what the Quran and the Sunnah says, and it never works because that's where they're trying to confuse us. It's like, okay, if you're going to talk to us about the Islam,
1 second, shall I bring it back up? You can have this conversation. Yeah. All right. Ask your question to Yemeni.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So my question was right. Well, actually, yeah. My first question was that is Allah His essence? You affirm that?
Okay. First and foremost, are you giving us an eternal critique of Islam?
It wasn't necessarily a critique.
Well,
but
you're asking questions that are leading up to,
hold on, just
an
wait.
issue,
Let me
right?
hold on. Yeah, because you weren't here for the full,
Actually, I was
debate.
listening. That's why I came on.
Okay, so yeah, I would ask you first: is Allah identical to His essence?
No. So again,
Wow.
is this an internal critique?
It doesn't matter. Hey,
Of course it matters.
don't worry. Hold on. Don't worry if this is an eternal critique, because this is.
No, wait.
This
Are you
is in
asking for the
relation
Muslim
to the
paradigm?
truth.
Are you asking for the
Well, that's
Muslim
exactly.
paradigm? That's the whole point. He's asking you.
No.
You're
I'm
not asking for a Muslim paradigm.
No, I'm simply. This is your doctrine. I'm simply breaking.
So then
down
it is
to
a Muslim
the-
paradigm.
Sure.
Well, is it a Muslim paradigm or not a Muslim paradigm?
If
I
you're
mean,
not, if you're
yeah,
not, if
you
you're
can
unsure,
say it. You can say it is.
no. Well, the
No,
thing
is it or isn't it?
Okay, sure. Yes, it is.
Right.
No, don't
You
say
said-
sure just for the sake of it.
Last time you said no. Now
I'm
you're
not saying for the
sure.
sake of it. I'm just saying, but this is like,
All right. Just one
this
second.
isn't.
Let's ask the
this
question again.
Isn't even
One second.
relevant.
Are you asking from a Muslim paradigm or not?
What, like a Muslim perspective?
Which is a Muslim paradigm. So our worldview.
Yes.
Oh, so the answer you should say is yes. Then okay. Go on then, yeah.
So, our worldview, we say only what Allah and His Messenger have said about Allah. That's all we do. So we keep it simple.
Yeah.
We don't use this philosophical language to bring up absurdities. Okay.
I mean,
when you talk about essence, it doesn't mean anything to us because Allah, as it mentions in the Quran, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. There is nothing like unto Him. So the idea of essence, when we talk about essence in of itself, we are talking about a thing that has an essence. We have no knowledge of the the being of Allah. Okay, you see, we don't even say like Allah is immaterial or things like this. We don't use any of this language because Allah is unlike anything. So there is no words to describe Allah in that sense. So saying essence or spirit or immaterial or thing or composition or any of these words are meaningless when it comes to Allah. So if you're going to ask us about Allah within the Islamic paradigm, then you use Muslim language.
I mean, your own philosophers uses language. Like this is within your own doctrine. Like you can say what you want about Islam. I know you Muslims like to, appeal to subjectivity and hold different beliefs.
Whoa.
You guys hold different beliefs.
When you're talking about the philosophers amongst us, okay? Hence, that's why there are issues between the falsafa, okay, the philosophy, and those who utilize kalam extensively. This is how the Asha'ira and all of these different sects came about, okay, because of their use of philosophy, and that's what led them astray. So when it comes to Islam, there is nothing more pure than speaking about Allah as Allah spoke about Himself and as the Messenger ﷺ spoke about Him, because that's where you're going to get the most accurate information.
Hold on. Do you realize why that is? Because philosophy, like in its most general sense, it's just the study of logic. Okay. No, it's logic. It's logic.
It's not.
Philosophers philosophers within that time frame, the philosophers you're appealing to within the Islamic doctrine would have realized that the ontology of Allah was illogical, because it is. Because you're either going to go through the sense that Allah has a counterfactual dependency, which states that His essence is dependent, or you're going to have to, say that all of His attributes are independent from Him, which would be polytheism.
That's just, again, nonsense to me, because
it's nonsense to you because you don't care about this. Like this isn't.
I don't care about what philosophers say, because what is philosophy at its root?
Of course you don't.
No, of course not, right? Because philosophy at its root is the study of the nature of things. We are not told the nature of Allah, okay? In that sense, okay? So we're not going to indulge in that. And in terms of His attributes, okay, we have a very simple saying, al-ma'na ma'ruf wal-kayfiyya majhul, okay? the meaning is known. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to us about his attributes, we understand the meaning. The words have meaning, so we understand them. But how Allah exercises his attributes, the extent of the nature of these attributes, Allahu A'lam, we do not know. Allah has not revealed that information to us. So until, right, and there isn't going to be any more revelation about that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us all that we need to know about him in order to have that connection with him, in order to worship him, and and so on and so forth. So any of these, again, all of this terminology, when it comes to Aqidah, it's meaningless to us, right? If you're going to examine Islam from an internal perspective, then stick to Muslim language and terminology.
Look, when it comes to the Islamic belief, like no offense, but the terminology is very shallow, right? When you use,
there's a brother here as well who says he can offer some response. Yes, mate.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So look, we affirmed when he's saying that there's going to be a counterfactual dependency. That's correct, but that's not going to lead contingency, because he has a misunderstanding as to what contingency means. Our friend here is like a Thomist, and they think that any kind of real distinction. Yeah, are you a Thomist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, what is contingency to you?
I'm appealing to the second definition, depending on. That's what I mean when I say contingency.
So, can you define it? What does it mean for a God to be contingent?
Yeah, it would be qualities pertaining to dependency.
And dependency on what?
Anything outside of him. Anything outside of his existence.
Thank you very much. So you were just a sophist the whole time. Anything outside of his existence, the attributes are not separate from him. They're within the essence. Therefore, there's no external dependency. So you have no argument.
Wait, hold on. Do you not affirm that these attributes are within a distinct existence?
Distinct is not separate. Nature? Distinct is not separate.
I'm not trying to say separate.
Yeah. So you agree?
Hold on. Just wait. Why you?
Trizzy, I want to
stay on the topic.
I'm going to say what you said. Trizzy,
answer the question.
You yourself agree.
Answer the question.
You yourself.
Answer that question.
Yeah,
answer the question.
There's a real distinction. Yes.
Yes, exactly. So what are you talking about then?
Okay, so I want to assess what you said.
Just because it subsists within the essence does not mean it's distinct within existence.
I let you speak. Did I not?
Okay, sure.
Calm down. Calm yourself. So you yourself just admit that there's no external dependency. Therefore, there's no contingency. There's no arguments.
Oh my days. We just establish a distinct existence between the 99 attributes and Allah, just because it's subsistence within the essence, which if I'm going to be honest, subsisting within the essence, it's kind of illogical. Like, how does one subsist? Hold on. No, it's not a contradiction. I'm saying it's illogical.
So if it's illogical, then there should be a P and not P, right?
I mean, that's a contradiction. Hold on, just wait. Contradiction does fall into a logical. Okay,
so what's the P and not P?
In a logical concept.
So what's the P and not P?
But I'm not saying it is a contradiction.
You said it's illogical. So it breaks one of the laws of logic. What is it?
I mean, how does one thing that's not tangible?
No, what's the fallacy? What's the fallacy? He said it's illogical.
What's the P and not P? You said it's a contradiction.
Being broken.
I never said it was a contradiction.
No. What's the fallacy? He says illogical.
Yeah, I'm just saying this.
Which law of logic has been broken? Which law of logic has been broken?
Look, these attributes, which are not tangible, subsist within another thing that isn't tangible.
Which law of logic has been broken? Which law of logic?
I'm being a sophist. Wait, hold on. Just answer the question. Why are you
guys?
No,
you say it's illogical, though. You made the claim it's illogical. So
yeah,
logic is not working here.
No, I'm gonna answer to why it is illogical. I'm saying something that isn't tangible is subsisting within something else that isn't tangible. Is that possible?
What does tangibility have to do with this?
What? We're literally talking about we're talking about a metaphysical being.
What does me seeing God?
Hold on, just wait.
We're talking about contingency. We're talking about contingency. Let me assess your argument, right? I want to steel man your argument. Your argument is this: if Allah
you guys are just jumping over the place.
No, because I'm going to steel man your argument and I'm going to refute it and then I'm going to flip it on you. So if Allah is dependent on his attributes, which are really distinct from him, Which, by the way, as
Yeah.
a Thomist, you know what's embarrassing? You saying that if the attributes are
Distinct
identical,
within
then there would hold on.
existence.
Let me just assess something else you said. You said if the attributes were identical to his essence, then there'd be 99 gods. Wait, you believe that the persons and the attributes are identical to the essence in your belief. So I guess you have 3 gods. That's number one. Number two, if you said if there's real distinctions, then he would depend on these. Yes, there's no problem. We affirm a counterfactual dependency, and there's going to be a grounding relation. But that doesn't mean that there's contingency, because you yourself admit that contingency would mean that he relies on something external to himself, and the attributes are not external to himself. Therefore, there's no contingency. So you have no argument. Now, you have a problem with real distinctions.
Wait. Let me hold on. Just wait. Let me break that down because you spoke way too fast.
Yeah,
You
prove external
presuppose. Hold on.
contingency.
Just wait. You presuppose that I believe the ontology of the Trinity is identical to all the persons, and the
I never said
I
the
do.
persons
I
were
do.
identical.
You
I said the
just said
persons were
that.
identical to the
What are you
essence,
talking about?
not to each other. There's an
Yeah,
absolute
oh
aspect
my
of
days.
subsistence, and
Do
there's
you
a
not
relative
know what
aspect.
ontology means?
Yeah, it's just going to be regarding the nature of being.
Yeah. So what are you talking about?
Yeah. So you believe that the persons are identical
Yeah,
to the essence as a
hold on,
Thomist.
just wait. I just said you're presupposing that I believe that the nature is identical to the persons, which I don't.
Are you a
But
Thomist?
when it comes, am I a Thomist? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Did Thomas Aquinas believe that? What kind of Thomist doesn't believe the? Hold on. What kind of Thomist doesn't believe the persons are identical to the essence? You do realize now. I'm going to play your game. If the persons aren't identical to the essence, then the persons are what? There's something about the subject which you believe is God that isn't the whole of the subject. Are the persons part of the essence?
Part? No, they're not part of that.
So then they're identical, right? Because you Thomists believe that if something is not identical, could you make your own definition of
What?
part? Because you guys believe that a real distinction, something being distinguished by another, is a part. But nowhere in the language does this exist. This only comes from, Aristotelian metaphysics, which why should I even be committed to pure, actus purus and God not having propositional knowledge and God being pure existence and all of this nonsense? Why should I be committed to your metaphysical commitments? I shouldn't. I can literally grant to you. Hold on,
buddy,
I didn't finish.
You're jumping.
I didn't
You're
finish.
jumping over all over the
I
place.
didn't
You're
finish.
just gish galloping.
Listen. I'll tell you
You
why
have
we're talking
made
about this
like
now.
40. Hold on. You have made like 40 propositions in the last minute.
40.
No, he
Like,
hasn't. No, he hasn't. Stop
No, he
whining
hasn't.
now.
Oh my
He hasn't made
days.
40 propositions at all.
I'll tell
You
you.
just have
If you're gonna say he isn't gish
I'm
galloping,
teaching
you're
you your
just
Just
religion.
one second, Anti-Shabah. What's your name, bro? I'm not calling you Anti-Shabah. What's your name?
Omar.
Omar. Okay, Omar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Islamic Apex in the chat. Islamic Apex, come up so we can debate the
So listen,
counterfactual dependency.
forget
on
about
Allah.
Islamic Apex. You didn't prove any contingency.
So
because you yourself
just
admitted that.
go back
What
to
do you
what
mean
he
I
was
didn't
saying.
prove any
One second,
contingency?
shush.
I just said, hold on, just wait. I just said contingency through to the second definition is depending.
Okay, let's just make it easy for the people watching because we're doing a lot of terminology here. Okay, so I loved Yemeni's approach. As Muslims, we don't have this issue, but you're coming from outside of Islam with your own understanding. So Umar is responding to that. So you asked the question about whether Allah was his attributes, didn't you? Let's just break it back down to that point. So you asked the question, are the attributes of Allah... So start there, and follow the argument through. Go on.
So yeah, I was gonna ask. Are the attributes
No, go back. I want you to go back now. I want you to start the conversation like you did with me.
Okay,
and I'm going to follow it.
So is Allah identical to his essence?
Right. And I asked you, what do you mean by essence? And you said what?
Yeah. I said the characteristics to make a being consider what they are.
Right. And how would you respond to that, Omar? So have that conversation with Omar.
Yeah. So we believe that there's going to be a real distinction between the essence and the attributes.
This what?
A real distinction, meaning that they're not identical.
So
that was not not an answer to the question.
One second. So the attributes are distinct from each other?
Yep. And the essence.
Yeah.
And distinct from the essence.
Meaning that there's just a difference in reality between, for example, mercy and power. Mercy is not power, and power is not mercy. And power is not the essence.
Okay. So what is he calling the essence?
The essence is just the whatness of the subject.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys hold to the belief that the essence of Allah is unknown. But if there is a counterfactual dependency, I'm saying that.
Right. So just so the attributes of Allah are distinct. Yeah. Is that right, Omar?
Yeah, distinct. Yeah, a real distinction. It just means that there's a difference in reality between the essence and the attributes. That's all.
Right.
It doesn't imply separation.
Oh, okay. So the attributes are distinct. How would you respond to that?
Who, me? Or
what, me?
No. I want to hear his response now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the
attributes are distinct.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm using your
No. So he's saying the
Regards to
attributes are
perspective.
distinct. So what's the
Mhm.
ramification of that? What's your next point of the argument?
What, distinct from one another or distinct from the essence?
Both.
Both. Yeah. So what that would entail, right? If the attributes are distinct from one another and they're distinct from Allah, yet they're dependent on one another to exist, that would entail a counterfactual dependency.
No. That wasn't you asked me. You asked me, could the attributes exist without Allah? That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I was getting at.
All right. No, but
That's what a
you asked.
counterfactual. Yeah, but that's what a counterfactual
Right.
dependency is.
All right, 1
Yeah,
second.
it's kind of factual.
These
So-
people
so-
haven't hold on, like Islamic Apex and anti Shabbat.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you guys haven't figured out that
Mhm.
philosophy is your worst enemy.
Okay, cool. So let's
Yeah.
let's discuss that, and then I'm gonna challenge you on philosophy on your own belief. Okay, so look, his argument is this: if Allah is not identical to his attributes, then there would be a real distinction, and if there's a real distinction, then that means that he depends on these attributes, and the essence depends on the attributes for his existence. Now, there's going to be a counterfactual dependency, which is no problem over here. This is Ibn Taymiyyah's position, and I'll tell you guys how Ibn Taymiyyah viewed this argument as well. A counterfactual dependency, and then he's saying, therefore, this implies contingency.
Sorry. Again, bear in mind,
Yes.
we you know,
A counterfactual.
I mean, we can even hold on.
Meaning
We
that
can
the
even
attributes.
ditch. We can
Yeah.
even
What does-
ditch
what
the word
does-
contingency.
What
Yeah.
does counterfactual mean?
Yeah, meaning that the attributes depend on the essence for their existence, and the essence depend on the attributes. You can't have one without the other. Can I just make a clear point too? Remember when I asked him, what does contingency mean? He gave me the definition of contingency, and he himself agreed that it means that he would require on something external to himself.
Yeah.
So what do we
dependent
have
on
to ask
something
him now?
No,
external.
not
Yes,
external.
yes,
Yeah.
you did. Yes, you did. Now, let me
Look,
continue.
not external in the sense that
yes,
you,
you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
presuppose.
Yes, you did. What do you mean? External means there's no other definition.
That's
of
what you-
external.
that's what you did
don't
say.
embarrass yourself.
No, I'm saying
So
external in
now,
existence.
no.
It's
It's not an
different
existence.
type-
The
different
existence
kind
is
of-
Allah and His attributes. They're not separate from each other. Don't be a sophist. Thomists are light work. Now, listen. What I need from you, if you want to continue this
Slow
argument,
down,
you need to
buddy.
show me, because you're using this is all been drilled down from like Aristotle's prime mover argument, Hamza and Yemeni. They say like God is the prime mover, and if he has any kind of dependency, whether it's even if it's internal, for example, like a counterfactual, then that would require something to move him, making him contingent. This is kind of what his argument is laying on. And Thomas Aquinas was very mistaken because he learned from Muslim philosophers, by the way, such as Al-Ghazali and Ibn Rushd, etc. But what's funny
Yeah.
is he cannot prove external contingency. And that's the main crux of his argument. So since he is unable to
Sure.
prove external contingency, you cannot prove that Allah was acted upon by something external to himself, then I'm going to go ahead and ask you a question now. Do you believe that God has any real distinctions whatsoever?
Any real distinctions? Like when you say God, what are you referring to? Because we're
I'm
referring to the Trinity now, right?
Yeah. Like you're a
Yeah.
Thomist, right? You believe that real distinctions would entail parts, right?
Distinction would entail parts. It depends what you're considering, because I actually have a pretty different view from like a regular Thomist, which
Do you
would
believe the persons are the
probably that would
essence?
entail. No, what?
You don't believe, as a Thomist, you don't believe the persons are the essence?
No. The
That's
persons
like
are
saying
not
that
the
you
essence.
you hold to the Ash'ari creed, but you're like an Ash'ari. What is this nonsense? This is milkshake belief, and you're telling me about philosophy? This is embarrassing. Okay, so
I mean, it is embarrassing.
what's
Like,
okay? So then, what's like? How do you distinguish the persons then?
how do I distinguish the person from person to person? Distinct
No.
from one another and distinct from the ontology.
Paternity, affiliation, inspiration. Do I have to teach you your own religion? Look, I don't think that you're well read on this topic. You came up a little arrogant, so that's why I'm talking to you in this way, to just humble you a little. But to be honest, I don't
You
know
haven't
what
even
model of the
proven
Trinity.
anything. You're just,
I
like,
don't know
saying a
what
bunch
model
of
of the Trinity that you
terminology.
hold to. You don't. You're saying that you're a Thomist who believes that the persons are not identical to the essence. This is a joke.
Yeah. When I say I'm so Thomas Aquinas, he put out.
What are you, a Thomist in fiqh or something? Like, what is
No,
this?
he put out multiple works, right? Like the Summas are massive. He's got letters as well. So when I say I'm a Thomist, probably everything to do with outside the Trinity. Like, I wouldn't regard myself as a Thomist when it comes to the Trinity.
Yeah, don't go around saying you're a Thomist because you're just confusing people.
I mean,
But
not really. Like,
do you believe, because look, you initially said, it's funny that you initially said this. You said if Allah is identical to his attributes, that would entail 99 gods. No Thomist on the face of earth has ever made this silly, nonsensical, pathetic argument. So are you willing
I'm not a
to
Thomist, son.
okay, so are you willing to bite the bullet on that? Because you don't believe that God's identical to his attributes, right?
Actually, I pretty much do. Yeah.
So does that entail a multiplicity of gods?
What? I don't.
You said that if God's identical to his attributes, that would entail multiplicity of gods.
Yeah, I don't.
So you
I don't.
yourself believe in
Hold on.
multiplicity
You're
of gods.
presupposing. Hold on. You're presupposing I pertain to a multiplicity of attributes.
Do you hold the principle of divine simplicity for God?
Yeah, pretty much. Like within omnipotence, because omnipotence basically defines every single characteristic.
But isn't that Thomas Aquinas'
deity would
position on the
have.
Trinity?
I mean, according to it isn't.
So Thomas Aquinas didn't believe in divine simplicity.
He
Did
did.
he?
Thomas Aquinas
Yeah, of
believed
course
that
he
the
did.
person's.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, what are you guys
Okay,
talking
so
about?
I don't know.
Well,
what to
you
ask
just said you
then.
don't agree with Thomas Aquinas on Trinity, and yet you hold to the.
No,
principle of
I'm saying, yeah, because I haven't fully read Thomas Aquinas' work. I'm reading it for my degree.
And do you believe? Do you believe that you're a Catholic? I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Catholic.
Yeah. Do you believe that Thomas Aquinas' understanding of God and divine simplicity is the only way God can be?
With divine simplicity, like in terms of attributes, yes.
In their
I
view,
do
yes.
affirm that.
So anyone who doesn't believe that, what are they?
Atheists. And I'll tell you right now, Hamza, I spoke to.
I know. One second. just laying the trap. That's all. So you're saying, as a Catholic, Thomas Aquinas' way is the only understanding of God.
No, there's multiple ways you can understand the
Oh
Trinity.
no, but divine simplicity is the true.
Yeah,
way.
divine. So yeah, when it comes to the ontology, divine simplicity is the true way. Yes.
Okay. So John Duns Scotus, who disagrees with this, who's also a Catholic, what's he?
Yeah, he would still be a Christian. I don't
No,
hold to the view.
No lie. Do you know G1 and Lorenzo? Do you know G1 and Lorenzo?
Because you know the San Franciscan school of thought is one second. You know the San Franciscan school of thought is sanctioned by the Pope, innit? Do you believe the Pope's infallible?
No, I do not believe the Pope is infallible.
You think he can make mistakes?
Yeah, of course.
The Pope can make mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
On matters of faith.
Look, I'm not one of these Catholics that like hold to the belief that the Catholic Church is perfect.
So you don't believe I'm confused.
Hold on. If you
I thought
believe,
the Catholic Church is built upon this principle of the
Mm.
Pope being infallible, knowing what's right and what no.
Some do, some don't. But when it comes to the papacy,
Well, there are Catholics who don't believe the Pope is infallible. I didn't know that.
Sure. Well, yeah. When it comes to
which school of thought don't believe the Pope is infallible?
With the papacy, right? There's literally a lineage.
Confused,
There's some papacy that literally refer to other papacy as heretics. So if papacy were to be infallible, it would be a contradiction.
But I won't see how it's a contradiction.
But I thought, I'm just reading here, Papa infallibility is a dogma of the Catholic Church, which states that in virtue of the promise of Jesus to Peter, the Pope, when he speaks ex cathedra, is preserved from the possibility of error on doctrine initially given to the Apostolic Church and handed down in scripture and tradition. What happened to that?
Yeah, so
what happened to that?
Yeah, that would probably be in referral to like tradition, because like the papacy now is referring to every other religion being
isn't it not dogma
on the same way as
isn't it not dogma of the Catholic Church that the Pope is infallible? No,
sure, it can be dogma, but I don't subscribe to that dogma.
So you could still be a Catholic even though you don't subscribe to certain dogmas of the Church.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, this guy, he doesn't know his belief. Like,
doesn't clueless, mate.
I mean,
I think to be honest with you, he's just holding on to the coattails of Thomas Aquinas because he likes philosophy. I don't think
it's all about philosophy.
Think he understands Catholicism,
It's all about philosophy.
to be honest.
To
Catholicism. I've been a
hold on,
Catholic my whole life.
before you talk, friend. Look, two of your friend, your top debaters, they said that if you don't hold to divine simplicity, then you'd be an atheist. Like, I mean,
So
I
what? Like,
look,
don't-
you should follow them. That you should be consistent. But listen, I want to see if you're a pantheist. Actually, I want to see if you believe that God is within
Yes.
creation and you're God and all that. How do you like? Because do you believe that God is like inside or outside creation?
I believe he can be in both, but what do you?
Both,
Are you
like
pertaining?
by his essence, by his essence.
Well, by his essence, do I believe
Yeah.
that his essence is within creation as of right now?
His essence is within. Can you name me one of your Catholic theologians who says this? Because you just
What?
apostated from your religion. Thomas Aquinas,
I-
no one, not a single one of your theologians would say that God's essence is encompassed in creation. You do realize that. Like, you're coming up here trying to you bring philosophical arguments that you heard from people like Sig about partialism and dependency and all of this, and you're telling me that God's essence is in creation?
Look, I'm pretty sure you're a little nervous, buddy. I didn't even make a point. I asked
Bro, I'm chilling,
a
man.
question back
Nervous?
to
I'm
you.
chilling.
No, it's
I'm
not.
chilling.
Hold
I got.
on, just wait.
You want me to open my
Hamza,
camera? I got my
speak
feet
for
kicked
yourself,
up.
buddy. Look, Anta, I asked the question you asked back at you, and you thought I was making a point. What are you talking about?
I don't know what any of this has to do with my question about God's essence being in creation.
Of course, yeah.
So it's
All right,
so
let's
yeah.
ask that question again. Ask that question again. I don't know what. 1 second.
Yeah, he's asking if his ontology is within creation.
No, he's asking you. He asked you a question, which you said yes to. He then told you, "No Catholic
I didn't say
says
yes.
You did.
I asked it back at him.
No,
I was
you
like,
said inside
I asked
and
it
out.
in a sarcastic tone. I'm
No,
like,
you didn't. You answered both. You said yes and no when he asked you that question.
This is getting recorded, right? This is getting
yeah,
recorded,
100%. Okay,
yeah, you're gonna be.
He asked you a question. You answered.
Replay back.
You answered yes and no. He then asked for, "Can you go definitive, please?" And he repeated the question: "Is essence in creation?" And you said yes. Then he said, "No Catholic in history has said this." That's where we are.
Answer the question. I was literally asking in the sense that who even holds to this doctrine?
Okay, that's apostasy. But okay, so you would say that God is located somewhere?
Wait,
yeah. So say that God's essence is in creation.
Hold on, just wait. Yeah, I don't hold to that dogma. I'm saying that who would even hold to this dogma?
So then no problem. So then where is your God that you believe in? Where is he?
Where's my God?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know. So is it possible that he's in creation then? How do you distinguish him from creation if it's not spatially? Go ahead.
His personality would be able to come into creation. As for his ontology, I wouldn't know.
His personality. What does that mean?
The persons. But then the persons like have the essence within them. So I don't get that. Okay,
you mean like are you talking about Jesus?
Man, you're presupposing
right.
Like that. But yeah,
as a divine
Jesus
person.
he would be a divine person.
So you believe God comes into his creation by sending somebody who becomes a man?
Sure. He entered creation before that, but yeah, let's go with that.
Does he enter creation as a man?
Yeah, he entered creation as a man.
Okay.
As a man, yeah, but they don't believe that the essence enters creation, right? But then the problem is like, is the essence somewhere or is it nowhere? Per the law of excluded middle.
But he said the essence does enter.
That's like a
but he said the essence
brain-breaking
does enter the
question.
creation. But he said the essence does enter the creation.
No, I didn't. What do you mean?
Yes, you did. And then he said no Catholic says this.
Wait.
He backtracked. I'm pretty sure. Look, if you play it back, he did, and then you pretended like it was you just asking sarcastically.
I literally asked the question sarcastically.
Okay, no problem. So like, so then per the law of excluded middle, is God somewhere or nowhere?
God somewhere or nowhere. I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Okay, so
because I can ask the exact same thing.
We say that he's somewhere. We say that he's above the throne. But my belief has nothing to do with this. It's a red herring. This that has nothing to do with what I'm asking you. I'm trying to see if you are a pantheist, because if you cannot spatially distinguish God from creation after there's more than one existent thing, let's say God existed by himself and then he created something, and then there's going to be this relation between these two entities, right? So if you can't apply this after there's more than one existent thing, then I'm just going to say that you're a pantheist because you can't spatially distinguish God from creation. And I know you haven't heard of this before.
You're doing like the Rumsey argument.
What do you mean Rumsey? This is Ibn Taymiyyah's argument. Look, honestly, I think you should get off, because if any of your Catholic friends like G1, Lorenzo, Joshi, any of these guys see what you've said today, they would, with all due respect, they would
hold
spit in
on.
your face.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't even know who they are.
Because you don't know what you're talking about. Like look, I'm just giving you advice before you come, talking about our religion. Know your own first. You're coming in saying that you're a Thomist, but only in like fiqh. Like what is this? You don't. You're claiming. Do you know that some people, they don't even want to claim the title as Thomist, and they're much like 100 times smarter than you, just simply because it's such a huge title to possess to call yourself a Thomist.
Sorry, Omar. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care what he believes. Right?
Yeah, he hasn't proved a problem in our world.
No, I'm not bothered.
You guys can go ahead.
I'm just trying to get to the point where he thought he had me about Allah being contingent. Yeah,
he didn't have you.
No. I understand, but
there was no debate to be had. You even answered a single question.
No.
You literally just said, "Oh, I can't be bothered, and I can run."
No. What I did, I allowed you to have the same conversation with Umar and Yemeni, because you got to the point. Allah, that means Allah is contingent, right? And then you was asked, "What does contingent mean?" Because this is what I care about. Responding to that.
Depending on,
I'll be honest with you. No, I don't know the philosophical arguments. I'll hold my hands up. It's not a big deal. But my brother Umar and my brother Yemeni kind of do. So I want you to go away from here thinking I didn't do anything there. Because at the moment you thought you did something. And now you've realized you don't know your own religion, but we're not really concerned about that. I'm not concerned about that.
I mean, I got a pretty
what I'm concerned about is what point you thought you made. That's what I'm concerned about. So I want to hear that.
So
you concluded.
Anti and Yemenite already affirmed that the counterfactual dependency does exist, and that was my whole point. If the counterfactual dependency exists, that means dependency within the essence exists.
But you're being dishonest.
Nobody disagrees with that.
I'll tell you.
1 second. One. So you're saying counterfactual dependency exists within the essence. Yemeni didn't agree to that. Yemeni didn't agree with that.
No, he agreed. He agreed as to
No, he disagreed with you. He disagreed with you.
I would even make that claim because I won't be able to prove it.
Hamza, he's just using terms as buzzwords.
No, I understand that. And Yemeni said separating the essence from the attributes. We don't even do that in a Muslim paradigm, right? But from a philosophical sense now. So how did you respond to it, Omar? Because I just want to destroy this whole point, and I want Muslims to see how these kind of pointless points are.
Yeah. So first of all, what he did, by the way, is something dishonest. It's something similar to what Catholics did yesterday. They came on a live, and all they did, and he's doing this right now, he's just simply stating our position. So he's saying, you believe that Allah is counterfactually dependent, therefore he's counterfactually dependent. He's just not really giving an entailment.
What?
He's saying that the entailment then is contingency, but he's just asserting that because he himself agreed that contingency means that he would rely on something external to oneself, and he was not able to prove that Allah relies on something external to himself.
But I don't think he's making that claim, though. I don't think he made that claim.
He did. He did.
One second.
Yeah.
So do you agree then that based upon what we're saying, that Allah doesn't depend on anything outside of himself?
When it comes to contingency, I didn't even define it that way.
Well, no. So let's just eradicate it.
Hold on. Outside of his existence, we'll go.
There's nothing outside of his existence he depends upon. Agreed? Can we
No,
agree
he
on
does.
that? What?
He does.
He does agree with
It's
that.
actually-
What does he depend upon?
That's not outside of his existence.
That's not outside of his existence. That's the whole point.
You're equivocating existence with essence. You're equivocating. You're equivocating. You're equivocating outside with distinction. You're equivocating outside with distinction. No, look, it's recorded.
Why you guys?
This is the same position that we've had. You're equivocating distinction is outside.
Just to understand. So let's just rephrase what you just said. So you said Allah depends upon something outside of his existence. Yeah.
Yeah, Allah. Yeah.
That's what you said. Why are you saying that?
Because his attributes aren't him.
That's not outside of his existence. That's not outside of the essence.
Oh, okay. How is that made? But like we just said, the attributes are not outside of his existence.
You guys literally believe that they are distinct within existence.
You're equivocating. Look, Hamza, look. He just equivocated distinct with outside. He just equivocated distinct with outside. That's exactly what you're doing. You're a sophist. You're dishonest.
Distinct is not the same.
Sure, whatever. Let's just say distinct within existence.
But distinct means not the same. It doesn't mean outside.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's no argument.
Whatever. Sure.
So
no,
Allah's attributes are distinct
from
each other. Yes.
No, not from each. No, that's not even the point.
Yes, from each other. Yes,
no, they are.
Yeah, sure. Yes, they are. But that's like irrelevant. What I'm trying to say is these, attributes are distinct from Allah, within existence, yet they're
You're
dependent
equivocating
on each other.
existence. No, you're equivocating existence with distinct. You listen. This is a big blunder,
What are
by
you
the way,
talking?
because
What are you
you're saying
talking about?
that he depends on something
You
outside of
just
himself,
agreed on
but
this.
you're saying that the essence. You're saying that outside of himself, meaning that the attributes aren't the essence. That's equivocating, saying that the attributes are separate from the essence, because extrinsic means separate. You're saying that there's external contingency. That means it's separate from the essence. You don't know what you're talking about, or you're purposely being dishonest and you're trying to be a sophist, but you got caught on it, so you have no argument.
Oh my days, man. Whatever. We can ditch contingency. We can ditch outside.
Let's ditch contingency. One second.
Ditch
We'll
contingency.
ditch contingency. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll ditch outside.
Even
Fantastic.
though, even though.
Right,
it
now what's your
does apply
point?
to contingency, but yeah.
Now what's
So
your
my
point?
point is still that these attributes in Allah are distinct within existence, yet they depend on each other to exist. That means that dependency is within Allah's essence. You guys don't.
Okay,
disagree with that.
and watch this. That just means that God depends on Himself. If He depends on Himself, what's the
my
difference?
days.
What's the distinguishing factor between God depending on Himself and being self-sufficient? Answer.
Hold on, just wait. Or his attributes himself.
Did you hear that question? What's the difference between God depending on himself and self-sufficiency?
We just affirmed that these attributes are not himself.
Don't say what I affirmed. Answer the question. What's the
No,
distinction
answer that.
factor?
Is there a dichotomy there?
See what I mean? See what I mean? Like the deception.
Is there a
that's going on
dichotomy
is
there
pretty
between
funny.
those two terms or not?
It's pretty funny. I mean,
It's pretty funny how you're not answering.
Do you
that's what I'm
accept?
saying.
Do you accept? Let me just twist it around a little bit. Do you accept dependent upon yourself means self-sufficient?
Depending upon yourself is self-sufficient.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the
No, do
equivocation to like.
you accept that or not?
Hold on, just wait. This is like the equivocation to like us.
That's
depending
not
on-
equivocation. Just
it's a
answer.
very simple
It's a
question.
tautology.
There
Do
is.
you accept
Yeah,
when
there
you say
is.
dependent upon yourself is the same as self-sufficient?
Depending upon yourself is the same as self-sufficient. Sure, but this isn't.
Allahu Akbar.
Alhamdulillah.
Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our belief is clear. And by the way, Yemeni also al-ism huwa al-musamma, right? Like the name refers to the one being named. So that's why we say al-ism huwa al-musamma, but the attributes are not going to be huwa al-musamma. It's just going to be the names, because like that's just going to be like talk. That's just law of identity. But look, guys, he hasn't had an
that's
argument.
logic.
All he did was try to be like a sophist, and he equivocated outside with distinct,
Yeah.
and he got busted on it. It's and you yourself said that being dependent on oneself. And by the way, let me just tell you something about Thomism and all your Thomist buddies. They would never say depending on oneself is tantamount to saying that he's self-sufficient, because they're too arrogant to concede that. But you can never, I challenge any of you and your buddies to find a distinguishing factor between being dependent on oneself and being self-sufficient. It's just going to be tautological. So you have no argument. Look, I think that you should learn your belief before you challenge ours, because you're a Thomist saying that God's not identical to the essence, saying that you don't even know how to distinguish the persons. You assert it as if it's some kind of brute fact. You don't even know that it's by paternity, affiliation, and inspiration. I mean, just go learn your own belief first, man.
I mean, you just agreed that the attributes are not himself yet. You made the claim that
You're just
him
going in circles
depending on
now, man.
himself.
You're just going in circles.
No, but you've contradicted yourself probably like 4 times.
You never showed me how I contradicted myself. I've been clear. I can represent my argument and your argument perfectly.
One second, Omar. What was the contradiction? What was the contradiction?
Yeah, so before he agreed that the attributes are not himself, and then he said, "Oh, I affirm that him being dependent on himself is self-sufficiency."
Yes, because depending on oneself is the essence plus the attributes.
Well, you agreed with that.
The essence plus the attributes.
Well, you
What?
agreed with
What?
that. You agreed
No, I
with the
didn't.
idea that you did. You said
Yes, you did.
dependent upon yourself is self-sufficiency.
Yeah, but I don't agree that his attributes are himself.
Yourself
You
is
agree
not the essence.
self-sufficient?
Allah is his essence plus the attributes. Therefore, the fact that he is his essence plus his attributes and there's no external contingency means that he depends on himself. And you agree with that. You're equivocating again.
there's-
I'm catching you.
So there's
Look,
2 parts to
you-
Allah.
oh, there we go with the buzzwords. Let me ask you this. Let's go ahead with that word for a second. Does God have life?
Does God have life?
Yeah.
In what sense? Define life.
Yeah, like is God a biological organism? Ah, you see how I can play
No.
buzzwords? I can use terms and I can give false meanings to them. I can just throw buzzwords and say, "Oh, is God a part? Does God have life? Is he a biological organism? Is
you're
God
presupposing
dependent?"
that I'm
You're just
doing these
using
things.
yes,
Hold on, just wait.
you are, because you're throwing
presupposing that I'm doing
these.
things.
No, I'm not presupposing, because you asserted the word.
You are.
You brought the word part in here for a reason. You Thomas defined part, and by the way, you saying part because there's a real distinction, you would have to concede that your God is parts, because you don't believe that the persons are identical to the essence. Therefore, the persons would be part of the essence, because a part in your guys' language as Thomists is anything that's really distinct from another. So you, as a Thomist, cannot even say that God knows. And I've talked to your top Thomist, and they will not even say that God knows that I exist and Satan exists differently, because that would be a real distinction within his knowledge. So he can't know that. So don't ever say parts this, part that, because if you say that, then you're going to believe in parts as well. So look, let's say hypothetically, I devil's advocated this position. I said, yeah, parts, meaning that they're really distinct. What's the P in that P?
Well, they're distinct yet. Wait, make your point again.
Oh my God! Look, I'm sorry, bro. Look, you can't even track. Look,
No, look,
you asserting
Gish Gallup.
That's not Gish galloping. I stuck to the point.
I tracked on to 90% of what you said.
Oh man,
but then you
this is
moved
bad.
on to another point.
Look,
So
look,
it's kind of hard to keep track of you.
You asserted
make
parts.
your last point again.
Yeah, when I said that they're distinct, you asserted part in there for a reason. So you believe now that a part is anything that's really distinct from another, but the persons are really distinct from the essence. Therefore, it would follow logically in your worldview that the persons are part of the essence. Do you retract?
See, a lot of presuppositions are made. Like, you don't even know.
I'm not stupid, my friend. I'm not stupid.
You don't even know my definition of part.
Forget it.
It's so funny.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, mate.
Peace out, man.
Catch you later, boys.
Yeah, that's like how his argument goes. This is the average Thomist, Hamza, by the way. They throw in words like part, and they'll throw dependency, they'll throw in contingent, but then when you break down all these principles, there's nothing that
I've never known them put the Pope under the bus.
This guy is like milkshake belief. He doesn't know his own religion.
I've never heard a Catholic say the Pope is fallible, because if the Pope is fallible, then everything he said and all the edicts and all the councils and all the ecumenical councils and what happened to the Holy Spirit, everything's up for question now. If the Pope doesn't have the Holy Spirit, who the bloody hell does?
Yeah, not just that, by the way, Hamza, on your free time, look at what the Pope say about Thomas Aquinas and his theological works. And then see if that sounds like an infallible man. Yeah. And this guy doesn't take
I understand one thing, because I had this conversation with Jake, that the idea of divine simplicity is not dogmatic within the Catholic Church. There's differences of opinions on it. But what the Thomists tried to say is that this is the only way God can be understood. It's necessary for God to be this way.
Yeah.
And anyone who says otherwise is a polytheist. Yeah. Yep. The problem is, like I said, the San Franciscan school of thought, sanctioned by the Pope, doesn't have an issue with this understanding, this alternate understanding, which is closely related to how we understand. And so you can't be a Thomist and a Catholic. It can't be both. You can't have the Thomist understanding and then be a Catholic believing in the Pope and all this kind of. You've got a problem now. One of them has to go. And this was the point that Jake was making to me. If someone wants to try to make the claim that divine simplicity is necessary, the only way God can exist is through this divine simplicity, then that would mean you can't remain a Catholic. You can't have your cake and eat it.
Right. But you just have to watch out from these guys, because they'll equivocate, like what he said, outside and distinct, or himself. He's equivocating himself, meaning the essence plus the attributes and just the essence alone. They'll like play these little equivocation games to try and like fool people. That's all their religion has.
Yeah, I like the way he accepted that self-dependent. It depends upon himself. Self-sufficient, that is.
Yeah, they can never answer that question. By the way, like that's what Ibn Taymiyyah brings too. Everything that I said, Jake would agree with. By the way.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for jumping on my point. Much appreciated. Who are you? Have you got a channel or something? It's pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know. I've seen him before. MashaAllah, it's very good with philosophy and stuff. It's just me personally. It's like. I just know that when you start to use philosophy, you can fall into minor mistakes.
Yeah, I would agree. And if you don't have the knowledge of philosophy, and
even if you do,
one second, I think he's come up to big and stuff. Yes, mate.
I think so.
Omar.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah. What's your channel?
Yeah. I don't have. Okay, I have a YouTube channel. It's called at the Muslim Lighthouse. And it's me and another brother. He's actually like I consider him like a teacher of mine. Jake knows him. His name is Eminem. And my TikTok is at anti-shubuhat or rabbi.omar1. So you guys can see me on there.
Okay, my advice to you is make your YouTube channel the same as your TikTok.
Yeah, inshallah.
All right, my brother. Jazakallah khair.
All right. Well, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, guys.